in 5 minutes. Please rise for the graduation processional.
Welcome to Auburn University's Spring 2018 graduation ceremony. We will begin the ceremony with the presentation of the colors. I ask that all gentlemen please remove their headdress for the presentation of colors and during our national anthem. And please remain standing. March on the colors. Ann Snow-Dorosky, Instructor of Voice, Department of Music in the College of Liberal Arts, will lead us in singing the national anthem. She'll be accompanied by the Auburn University Graduation Band, conducted by Megan Miller, Graduate Teaching Assistant for the Auburn Band. Thank you. Please retire the colors. Please be seated. Graduation is the most distinguished and important ceremony we host here at Auburn University. It is the symbolic closing of a very transformative chapter in your academic pursuits and the launch of a new chapter, one that holds great promise and limitless possibility. I am grateful to celebrate this momentous occasion with each one of you, and I'd now like to introduce some members of the platform party. Others will be introduced later in this ceremony. As I call your name, please stand. Mr. Michael DeMaribus, Auburn University Board of Trustees. Dr. Bill Hardgrave, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Johnny Green, Assistant Vice President for Outreach, Division of Student Affairs. Dr. John Mason, Vice President for Research and Economic Development. Dr. Taffy Benson Clayton, Vice President for Inclusion and Diversity. Ms. Jane DeFalco Parker, Vice President for Development and President of the Auburn University Foundation. Ms. Jamie Hammer, General Counsel. Ms. Nancy No, Interim Dean of the Libraries. Dr. George Crandall, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Ben Farrow, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and International Programs, College of Architecture, Design, and Construction. Dr. Jennifer Kerpelman, Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Studies, College of Human Sciences. Dr. Barbara Wilder, Professor and Graduate Program Coordinator, School of Nursing. Dr. John Feminella, Associate Dean of Academics, College of Sciences and Mathematics. Dr. Daniel Swantek, Chair of the University Senate and Professor in the Department of Psychology in the College of Liberal Arts. Dr. Jeff Jones, Graduation Marshal and Professor in the Department of Accounting in the Harvard College of Business. Dr. Eric Wetzel, Mace Bearer, an Assistant Professor in the College of Architecture, Design, and Construction. Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Wellborn, Commanding Officer, Air Force ROTC. Lieutenant Colonel Rashawn Steele, Commanding Officer, Army ROTC. Captain Willie Billingsley, Commanding Officer, Naval ROTC. Mr. Rick Smith, Graduation Reader and Lecturer in the School of Communications and Journalism. And Mr. Steve Geis, Interpreter for the Deaf, Office of Accessibility. Let's have a round of applause for this special group. Graduates, our faculty members have played a major role in preparing you for the next steps in your lives. They have mentored you, challenged you, and propelled you. Will members of the faculty please rise? Everyone, please join me in applauding these tireless individuals who have devoted their time and efforts to shape these graduate students' minds and poise them for success. Please be seated. I would like to ask our candidates for graduation now to please stand. Now, graduates, I hope you heard that, and I want you to take a look around this arena. These seats are filled with your biggest supporters, your friends and your families. They have worked and wished and waited for this day almost as much as you have. They have come from far and wide to celebrate with you today. They have encouraged you throughout the pursuit of your degree. Give them a round of applause and thank them for their valuable support. Please be seated. Now, graduates, you are joining an incredible family of Auburn graduates. Since our establishment in 1856, Auburn has awarded more than 320,000 degrees. This spring, we are awarding 4,027 degrees at the doctorate, master, and bachelor's levels. Our graduates have moved on to meaningful impacts in our community, our state, our nation, and the world. I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors, and I look forward to following your success and seeing the mark you leave on the world. Today, we are honored to have Susan Story of the American Water Works with us to deliver our graduation address. A native of Albertville, Alabama, Ms. Story earned an engineering degree from Auburn in 1981. She became the first person in her family to graduate from college. After graduation, she began her career as a nuclear power plant engineer at Alabama Power and steadily moved up through the ranks, becoming CEO of Southern Company Services and President and CEO of Gulf Power Company. In 2014, Ms. Story was named CEO of American Water Works. And with this appointment, she joined an elite group of only 26 women chief executives that lead S&P 500 companies. American Water Works is the largest and most geographically diverse investor-owned water utility company in the country, provides drinking water and related services to more than 15 million people throughout the United States and Canada. In her role as CEO, Ms. Story brings her valuable expertise in the utility industry to American Water as the company develops and implements solutions to meet the country's many water challenges. In addition to her work at American Water, Ms. Story shares her experience with others as the independent lead director for Raymond James Financial, and she has a seat on the Dominion Energy Board of Directors. Following the lead of the Auburn Creed, she also gives back to her community through her service as a member of the Moffitt Cancer Center Board of Directors. She is truly a trailblazer in every sense of the word. Please join me in welcoming her as a shining example of an Auburn woman, Susan Story.
So good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is a great day. President Leith and the graduation committee, thank you for inviting me to speak today. This is such a great, great honor to be back at Auburn. You know, I love this campus. I love this university. And if you didn't realize this, only at Auburn, only for people graduating this year, you're the only ones graduating from a university that won the national competition for best sports tradition for the rolling of Toomer's Corner by all of the USA Today readers. Awesome. Only us, only here, right? I want to talk a little bit about Auburn and Auburn's role in my personal journey. You know, my story is one of the American dream. And there are people out there who say that the American dream is dead, and I can't disagree more to that. As President Lee said, I was the first person on either side of my family to ever go to college. My mom grew up the ninth of 9 kids of a dirt poor farmer in North Alabama, and my dad was on the streets at 14. He was the product of an alcoholic home. But my mom and dad, my dad joined the Marines when he was 17, and it saved his life. My mom and dad worked hard. They worked at minimum wage jobs in textile mills and everything so that my brother and I would have a better life than they did. And I think they found it hard to believe, looking back, that they would have a son who would earn a doctorate and their daughter would be CEO of an S&P 500 company, both from Alabama and in a country where you really can be whatever you want to be. So what I want to talk about today is Auburn's role in this and about purpose. So Auburn was where I had my path. So I graduated high school, I came to Auburn, and you know, this place encouraged me. Auburn supported me. I worked my way through school. I actually worked on campus. Auburn was an encouragement, they were an enabler, and they provided a beacon for the education that would make all the difference in my life. And so I want to get around to purpose, and the purpose for your life, not my path, but your path. How do you go on a path that leads to the dreams that you can realize that you can be whatever it is you want to be? When I graduated from Auburn, I wanted to make a difference. The main thing I wanted was to make a difference. I wanted to know that I could do things that stretched me, that would cause me to matter on a broader scale. I did it, I'm doing it, and you can do it too. So I want to share with you 2 personal stories that helped me get where I am today, and the lessons of those. The first story is when I first graduated and I was a young engineer at a company. This was in the early 1980s. And I was hired at a company, and my boss did not think women should be engineers. So he put obstacles in my way. He actually lied about me behind my back, did a lot of things. And when I found out, I was just devastated. I was crushed. But I did something that made all the difference in why I'm standing today. I knew I had 2 choices. First choice is I could say, I'm going to be bitter, I'm going to blame him, I'm going to blame the company, and I'm just going to resign myself to the fact that that's the way it is. Thankfully, I chose the second, and I told myself, you know what, he's wrong, this is him, not me, and I'm going to spend every breath I've got proving he's wrong and just how good I am. Within 2 years, my work was noticed, I was promoted, and he was demoted. So the lesson for this, here's the lesson for this, for everybody in here. Other people do not decide your future. That's you. Don't give that power away to anybody. Nobody determines your future but you. The second story, and President Leith referred to it, I grew up in the South, I went to school in the South, and I worked for a company in the South for 31 years. 5 years ago, I got recruited to go to New Jersey. And I thought, gosh, you know, I love this company, I love the people I work with, but if I'm ever going to run my own company. But then they said, we're not going to guarantee you get this job, but if you come up and do a good job, in a year or two, you'll be the leading candidate for CEO. So I thought, do I take this chance? I made the bold move and I went, and within 9 months, they named me CEO of American Water, one of an S&P 500 companies. Here's the message there. Don't always take the safe way out. Be bold. You're not going to accomplish your dreams by going the easy route and by not taking chances and stretching yourself and doing more than you ever thought you could do before. Which leads me back to this issue of purpose. You know, purpose is something very personal, but I'll tell you what I think my purpose is. My purpose is I believe that an executive, a CEO, can run a company that is not only financially successful, but that it treats its employees right, and employees love to work there. It finds a way to make sure that the customer experience is the best they've ever had, and it makes communities stronger because they're there. We serve over 1,600 communities in the United States, and the goal is that every one of them are better because we and our employees are there, and we give back in the communities, and we give back thousands of hours in education and in health services and helping those who aren't as fortunate. That's what purpose is, and that's what it means. I want to tell you just a little bit about some of the people I get to work with. We have an R&D group, and we partner with the Environmental Protection Agency and the Centers for Disease Control and international water research foundations to find ways to identify and fix emerging contaminants that affect drinking water. I work with a couple of people. Let me share their stories with you. One person I work with, her name is Annalisa Fasnacht. Annalisa grew up in Colombia. Annalisa is a civil engineer. She's an amazing woman. When she was just in her late 20s, she was appointed to lead a water organization to bring fresh water in the rural areas of Colombia where there still were people, where the women and children spent all day carrying water miles so they'd have water to drink. Through Annalisa's work, 50,000 people got clean water over a period of 2 years. But there was a terrorist group called FARC. And FARC said, this woman is a threat to us because people aren't depending on us anymore because she's letting them be more independent. So they kidnapped Annalisa. And for 32 days, they kept her in capture and finally said, we will only release you and not kill your family if you leave the country. So she came to the United States with $2,500 and not speaking English. Today, Annalisa is a scientist in our R&D organization. She has 4 kids. In addition to working for us, she's also president of a global water initiative to bring clean water to the nations in Africa and in Latin America. She's also the American dream. The other person I want to tell you about is a backhoe operator in Scranton, Pennsylvania named Herbie Simms. Herbie is a great guy, and every day Herbie drives his backhoe down the street, and there's a 3-year-old named Connor who stands on a porch and waits for Herbie to come by and beep his horn. It may not sound like a big deal to you, but Connor's mother called us and said, I want to know the name of this gentleman because my son Connor is pretty severely autistic, and our mornings don't start out well, and there's a lot of crying and upset, but every morning at 8:30 he runs to the front porch because your backhoe operator drives down the street and beeps his horn at Connor. So Herbie and his wife went, took toys, played with Connor for about 2 hours and his brother, and when Herbie got up to leave, Connor wrapped himself around Herbie's leg, and his mother broke into tears because she said, Connor doesn't like to be touched, and this is a breakthrough for him because of a backhoe operator in Scranton, Pennsylvania, who doesn't come to work every day for a job. He has a calling and a purpose in what he does every day. So, wrapping it up, in other people's eyes, they may look at my resume and say, wow, she's successful because she runs this company. But let me tell you how I measure my success. Success to me is helping people see what they are at their best, what they can do, what they can be. Success for me is leading extraordinary people to do amazing things. Success for me is showing that a company can do well by doing good, that it's and not or. It doesn't have to be an or to be financially successful. Very few people will get the honor and privilege of working with their heroes every day, and I do. And what I wish for you on this very special day is that you do too, that you get to live your dreams. What's your dream that you want to do? What's your purpose? How do you go out there and make it happen and have no regrets? So congratulations, class of 2018, to all you will be and all you will do. And of course, most importantly, forever to be a war eagle.
Thank you, Ms. Story, for your inspiring remarks. It is my pleasure to recognize several groups of students who are graduating with academic honors. First, I would like to recognize those undergraduates who are graduating with honors based upon their cumulative grade point averages. Students with a grade point average between 3.4 and 3.59 graduate cum laude, and I ask that all cum laude graduate degree candidates rise and be recognized. You may be seated. Students with a grade point average of 3.6 to 3.79 graduate magna cum laude, and I ask our magna cum laude degree candidates to rise and be recognized. You may be seated. Students with a grade point average of 3.8 and above graduate summa cum laude, and I ask our summa cum laude degree candidates to rise and be recognized. You may be seated. 1979 marked the beginning of the honors program at Auburn University. In 1998, that program became the Honors College. Honors College students graduate either with the distinction of University Honors Scholar or Honors Scholar. Would all those who have earned the distinction of University Honors Scholar or Honors Scholar please rise? You may be seated. Phi Kappa Phi is Auburn's highest all-discipline academic honorary, and members represent the top 10% of each college or school on campus. I now recognize those initiated into Phi Kappa Phi. Please rise. You may be seated. I would now like to recognize those degree candidates in the arts and sciences who have been inducted into Phi Beta Kappa, the nation's oldest academic honorary. Would our inductees into Phi Beta Kappa please rise and be recognized? You may be seated. I would also like to recognize our military service members. Would those degree candidates who are commissioned in our military services please rise? I now ask that all active duty and veteran service members, both graduates and those in the audience, please rise. Thank you for your service to our country. Would Dean George Flowers of the Graduate School please come forward?
Would Paul Haddon Sanders IV please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the Graduate School, I would like to introduce our student marshal, Paul Sanders, who is receiving a Doctorate of Philosophy in Physics. Paul is from St. Simon's Island, Georgia. Now would all the candidates for the degrees of Doctors of Philosophy please rise. Trustee Demaribus, President Leith, and Provost Hargrave, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it is my pleasure to present these doctoral candidates for the conferral of their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the doctoral degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. Please be seated, and congratulations.
The Doctor of Philosophy degree is the highest degree awarded in the Academy of Universities. Part of the tradition associated with the awarding of this degree is a special ceremony involving the presentation of a doctoral hood. Would the major professors of the doctoral candidates please escort your graduate to the stage to be hooded as Professor Smith calls their name. Members of the Registrar's Office will direct you to the stage.
Dr. Paul Sanders, hooded by Dr. Park. Dr. Vahid Mirkani, hooded by Dr. Maceo Park. Dr. Kosala Yapabandara, hooded by Dr. Park. Dr. Asanka Jawaradena, hooded by Dr. Surit Dar. Dr. Nathan Hall, hooded by Dr. Leslie Gertson. Dr. Nicole Garrison, hooded by Dr. Jason Bond. Dr. Peter Rogers, hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Schwartz. Dr. Alina Braun, hooded by Dr. Veena Shalaraman. Dr. David Curtis, hooded by Dr. Thomas Fuller Rowell. Dr. Elizabeth Matson, hooded by Dr. Chris Roger. Dr. Rachel Savasic-Luxton, hooded by Dr. Adler Bader and Dr. Hazelworth. Dr. Kathleen Halavity, hooded by Dr. Hazelworth.
Please join me in congratulating these new doctoral graduates. Now, would all the candidates for master's degrees please rise? Trustee Demaribus, President Leith, and Provost Hargrave, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it is my pleasure to present these master's candidates for the conferral of their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the master's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. Please be seated. Graduates will come forward as Professor Smith calls your name. Members of the Registrar's Office will direct you to the stage. And congratulations.
Austin Bush. Sarah Speechens. Theodore Wilson. Samantha Eckes. Michael Salisbury. Alexander Matthews. Emily Kilgo. Catherine Musall. Kalia Cook. Tracy Huey. Melissa Foster Lover. Heather Baker. Melissa Kilcrease. Laura Savage. Amanda Goodson. Brian Young. Reagan Overby. Pamela Short. Mary Frances Morris. Micah Gamache. Radhika Shenoy. Rachel Hamrick. Joyting Zhu. Luja Shakya. Alexander Chanel. Jaspinit Gaur. Ray Wong. Shane Braden. Megan Henning. Jennifer Goldstein. Catherine Salamone. Emily Dodd. Mallory Roberts. David Mason. Adrian Crane. Stephanie Lawson. Jessica Parker. Lisa Scully. Brooke Harris. Morgan Duke. Sarah Faison. Lauren Gorman. Alicia Morris. Patrick Zanetra. Wenyan Gao. Brittany McDonald Harrell. Whitney McDonald Barentine, Grace Telehaney Santana, Julian Vuk, Shannon Skaug, Justin Haynes, Brittany Walker, Megan Parker, Lakeisha Hamlet, Felicia Jones, Bridget Wilson, Kenyatta Dixon, Sharon Barganier, Yu Zhang, Shuliang Bai, Angelica Hawkins, Jenny Dupuis, Delana Clemens, Andrea Steinbrink, Jenny Smith, Aaron Davis, Kimberly Litwiller, Molly Wallace Dean, Megan Minter Lemon, Peter Lang, Chelsea Pop, Mindy Childs, Lucy Riley, Mary Owens, Mohammed Matur Rahman,
Please congratulate these master's graduates. We now come to the conferring of the undergraduate degrees. Mr. President, the deans of the colleges and schools will come forward and present the candidates who have been approved by the faculty and recommended for the appropriate undergraduate degrees. The candidates of each college or school will stand when presented and then be seated. Dean Vinnie Nathan, College of Architecture, Design, and Construction.
Would Hannah Grace Grimes please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the College of Architecture, Design, and Construction, I would like to present our student, Marshal, Hannah Grimes, who is receiving a degree in graphic design. Hannah is from St. Stephen's, Alabama. Would all degree candidates from the College of Architecture, Design, and Construction please rise? Trustee Demeribus, President Leet, and Provost Hartgrave, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Architecture, Design, and Construction, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the Bachelor's Degree.
Please be seated. Dean June Hinton, College of Human Sciences.
Would Madison Bray Atwater please stand?
On behalf of the faculty and the College of Human Sciences, I would like to introduce our student Marshal, Madison Atwater, who is receiving a degree today in Human Development and Family Studies. Madison is from Birmingham, Alabama. And now would all degree candidates from the College of Human Sciences please rise. Trustee Maribus, President Leith, Provost Hargrave, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Human Sciences, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the Bachelor's Degree.
Please be seated. Dean Greg Neuschwander, School of Nursing.
Would Lakeisha Denise Logan please stand? On behalf of the faculty of the School of Nursing, I would like to introduce our student Marshal, Lakeisha Logan, who is receiving a degree in nursing. Lakeisha is from Hueytown, Alabama. Now would all of the degree candidates from the School of Nursing please rise. Trustee Demaribus, President Leith, and Provost Hargrave, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Nursing, it is my great pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the Bachelor's Degree.
Please be seated. Dean Nicholas Giordano, College of Sciences and Mathematics.
Would Abby Suzanne Phelps please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the College of Sciences and Mathematics, it's my pleasure to introduce our student Marshal, Abby Phelps, who's receiving a degrees in biomedical sciences and Spanish. Abby is from Southlake, Texas. Okay. Would all the degree candidates from the College of Sciences and Mathematics please stand? Trustee Demaribus, President Leith, and Provost Hargrave, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Sciences and Mathematics, it's my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the Bachelor's Degree.
Will all candidates for the Bachelor's Degree please rise? By virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. Please be seated. Graduates, you will now come forward by your college or school to be introduced as Professor Smith calls your name. Members of the Registrar's Office will direct you to the stage. And again, congratulations.
The College of Architecture, Design, and Construction, Dean Vinnie Nathan. Max Garcia. Alexander Drouillard. Foster Denny. Matthew Lewis. Joshua Zimmer. Kelsey Halla. Christopher Stone. Timothy Smella. Asia Bergen. Margaret Kubalins, Taylor Oswald, Sidney Gargiulo, Andrew Lang, Margaret Wolchin, Corey Thomas, Patricia Winke, Zachary Cundy, James Taunton, Lauren Barnes, Catherine Wally, Madge Ellis, Hannah Cornelius, Marche Ryan, Stephen Fleming, Charles Heron, Walker Waftel, Paul Ricciardi, Andrew Klemp, Keeble Sun, Erica Donovan, Hannah Grimes, Erin Grace Carey, Lauren Robinson, Ivy Martin, Chana Fallon, Faline Luton, Lindsay McMahon, Jonas Dove, Lily Rice, Benjamin Alsobrook, Carolyn Giles, Catherine Denny, Joshua Adams, Claudia Paz Melendez, Keena LaWayne Miles, Michael Kelly Jr., Caleb R. Munson, Sarah Curry, Abby Fields, Catherine Ray, Selma Fareed, Chelsea Elcott, Frank McDaniel Jr., Ward Tollifer, Gavin Fraser, Gabriella Bregan, Kelsey Lawrence, Jenna Haas, Rob Palmer, Evan Caldwell, Christian Ossenfort, Alexander Anderson, John Walker, Kyler Hancock, Caleb Spearing, John Parker, Travis Bruce, Harrison Cornforth, Kari Sabia, Jian Zhang, Jonathan Duffy, Shelby Stanfield, Ayon McNeil, Kenneth Fallon Jr., Zoe Gardner, William Turkington, Berke Kalamaglu, Ashley Johnson, Laura Lopez, Blake Scortino, Dong Hu Huang, Jeffrey Velasquez, Sandra Allison Amaker, Renee Melkerson, Mary Michaels, Jean Carr, Hunter Anthony, Ryan Soprano, Ian Lee, Mark Hollister, Alexander Berry, Long Long, Andrew Cummings, Emily Cowper, Juliana DeRosa, Matthew Nelson, Joseph Kaufman, Chip Johnson, David Harrison, Nicholas O'Connor, John Sandoval, Crystal Campbell, William Graves, Douglas Cotter III, Colby Stevens, Eugene Cho, Young Huang, Stephen Hamby, Eric Brazel, Samuel Fries, Zachary Martin, McKenna Dunn, Elizabeth Keller, Adriana Wardle, Trevor Dodson, Alana Lucier, Noah Fairburn, Corey Crane, Samuel Renfro, Tara Rose, William Brock, Michael Ritter, Chance Overstreet, Elise Darren, Hayden Shelley, John Sasser, Jared Torbett, Eric Lynn, Philip English, Mace Keenum, Ian Milby, the College of Sciences and Mathematics, Dean Nicholas Giordano, Adam Brasher, Trenton Coleman, Caroline Wilcox, Laura Catherine Prestridge, Kayla Wilson, Sung Hoon Jan, Sarah Cunningham, Tony Thomason, Clayton Smith, Ensign Trenton Mapes, Ensign Zachary Cirillo, Ensign Michael Taylor, Ensign Justin Barnard, Ensign Robert Glennon, Andrada Nadelku, Reagan Gucher, Mary Tucker, Madeline Fleming, Robert Kronk III, Caitlin Hickman, Cooper Elkins, Mason Atkins, Brianna Carter, Mary Stubbs, Gregory Taylor, Gabriel Tulianos, Sai Patel, Jessica Daniel, Abby Phelps, Bailey Ryan Crump, Thomas Rosandich, Sarah Bullock, Margaret King, Mark Johnson, Raj Patel, Lindsay James, Kyle Allred, Jesse Humbers, Megan Ibarra, Madeline Marie Lear Tucker, Zahar Mughadam, Rachel Ames, Savannah Tidwell, Michael McLaughlin, Ronald Harris III, Joseph Anderson, Yasmin Cosby, Daniel Birchfield, Kayla Tucker, Neve Curley, Grace Leonardi, Annie Sauer, Aiden Kish, Charles Bader, Zachary Berger, Colin Young, Ian Cummins, Peyton Camp, Taylor Giller, Taylor Parsons, Jared Lane Borders, Hudson Michael Holmes, Chandler Tilley, Shelby Murphy, Alexandra Andrews, Ashlyn Clark, Caitlin Clark, Morgan Damaski, Samir Khan, Lindsay Solomon, Rachel Gravel, Carrie Laird, Victoria Glover, Camille Ray, Adonisha Carter, Victoria Roberson, Daniel Phillips, Meredith Burns, Sarah Littles, Brenda Tran, Dominique Didona, Hazelyn Green, Katie Fogel, Catherine Burgess, Madison Edwards, Anna Dennison, Chelsea Bellman, Thomas Sneed, Antoinette Russell, Blake Jones, Erin Lee Funk, Callie Kuykendall, Bailey Baker, Megan Queen, Caitlin Marshall, Victoria French, Madison Howard, Malia Parmer, Amelia Grider, Dorothy Mitchell, Jamie Dickman, Ellen Reaver, Merritt McCall, Madison Hamilton, Kara Ratterman, Zoe Davis, Denslow Trumbull IV, Eric Carbo, Martin Patton, Brandon Gartman, Savannah Carlton, Laura Beth Moore, Sarah Bignall, Melanie Parrott, Michael Miley, Zachary Inman, Michelle Massey, Michael Jacobs, Olivia Saunders, Joshua Graham, Christian Foster, Madison Nash, Dominique Wozniak, Will McDonough, Donna Cooper, David Quinn, Andrew Murray, Catherine Pimber, Chase Sanford, Mallory Marr, Catherine Selby, Jane Hampton, Hallie Bain, Sarah Reagan Teepool, Austin Hughes, Cale Kreger, Brandon Martins, David Bark Jr., Tishine Bong, Nicole Kirby, Michael Ball, Joseph Durantz, Katie Ryan Dorgan, John Harmon, Brandon Crowley, Allison O'Neill, Brandon Eastlick, Alex Kim, Kyle Bedding, Jessica Doyle, Francis Hudson, Kiara Goins, Caitlin Simpkins, Diobumi Odesanya, Sierra Jackson, Stephen Kwan, Kendall Davis, Miles Bragdon Hall, Hannah Marshall Cho, Jessica D. Milner, Michelle Park, Caroline Amerson, Taylor Tucker, Samantha Spark, James Lott IV, David Horn, Alexis Tang, Samantha Sanchez, William Lewis, Jonathan Holloway, Natalie Starr, Caroline Nelson, Sarah Regina Bowden, Devin Askins, Briar Cranston, Harrison Davis, Catherine Taylor, Heron Taylor, Elise Mann, Jack Hadley, Jacob Dennis, Stephen Stayskull, Christopher Evers, Daniel Henderson, Kyle Sykes, Michael McCallman, Amanda Fang, Carolina Braga, Jackson McDaniel, Kevin Bray, Connor Cook, Melanie Key, Patrick Jordan, Timothy Geis, Ethan Dindy, Amanda Loyal, John Thompson Jr., Graham Reeves, Lauren Jones, Lauren Wade, Caroline Murkison, Tuck Borey, David Ingerson, Mark Valet, Molly Addison, Davis Kelly, Sidney Jernigan III, Madeline Reeves, Jeremy Maples, Grant Copeland, Wesley Sandlin, Lillian Beeman, Matt Freitas, Haley Crowell, Stephen Peritano, Coleman Dixon, Edward DeBetz, Chandler Purdle, Corey Parrish, Mitchell Dasamo, Trey Kidd, Sarah Carl, Casey Phillips, Lauren Campisi, Megan Cullop, Mackenzie Williamson, Kayla Ann Jennings, Jonathan Dismukes, Bradley Schuler, Jake Pacici, John Ryan Watson, Caroline Milligan, Kristen Suflo, Madison Collins, Aaron Rooney, Cecilia Hughes, Ryan Elkins, Brittany Hinton, John Pruitt, Amani Graves, Taylor Jacobs, Peter Shepard, Mariana Rose, Roy Franklin Roberts III, Jordan Burlingame, Hannah Lindsay, Sam Motes, Megan Roberts, Kevin Rieger, Christina Holbrook, Christopher Pittman, Jessica Hicks, Brooke Jones, Gayun Kim, Casey Moran, Christian Mays, Brianna Snowball, Wesley Curls, Richard Pechtel, Coleman Churich, Mara Baker, Mitchell Kessner, Carolyn Richardson, Kayla Fry, Kirkland Bradshaw, Jordan Mangat, Austin Glenn, Madison Moreland, Caitlin Johnson, Walter Meadows, Sierra Hawkins, Jonathan Gray, Zachary Vieira, Rhett Hitchcock, Emma Gleemaker, Renee Lardizabal, Sarah Odom, Sarah Allen Battles, Terrell Price, the College of Human Sciences Dean June Hinton, Elizabeth Dumont, Nicole Minnick, Rachel Ward, Caitlin Bedgood, Taylor Vaughn, Haley Robinson, Allison Love, Mary Margaret Easterling, Ashton Smith, Mackenzie Rogers, Catherine Weldon, Sydney Taylor, Jordan Cobb, Kaylee Cochran, Daniel Youngans, Annalise Walker Kane, Laura Ann Graves, Miriam Lene Comer, Kelly McCollum, Lily Hardwick, Ellie Rimbert, Bailey Freeman, Jamie Quirk, Jordan Trammell, Sarah Messina, Madison Atwater, Lydia Homenberg, Stephanie Schummelt, Christina Castro, Radisha Clark, Otalia Pericelli, Catherine Rhodes, Haley Horn Carter, Sydney Nicholas, Elizabeth Schreiber, Olivia Hayes, Molly Sandlin, Jessica Hopkinson, Kaylin Bartley, Elizabeth Croft, Hannah Bond, Caitlin Steiner, Abigail Smith, Alexandra Zugan, Joy McDaniel, Mary Eugenia Hunt, Catherine Albee, Hannah Warner, Virginia Waddell, Anna Bloomston, Stephanie Aaron, Madison Curls, Sarah Moore, Lenice Barnes, Morgan Walters, Cheryl Polinsky, Sydney Shivers, Suzanne Weller, Katrina Garofano, Catherine Donovan, Sydney Smith, Sophie Sims, Peyton Alexander, Eliza Alexander, Chastity Connor, Megan Anderson, Isabella Casatico, Amanda Simmons, Emma Hall, Jennifer Malone, Callie Johnson, Rebecca Schneider, Emily Johnson, Zoe Thatcher, Kristen McGraw, Patrick Downing, Joseph Wysocki II, Delaney Reynolds, Audrey Hill, Catherine Gardino, Savannah Hutto, Brianne Grissett, Leanne Huber, Bailey Richards, Erin Neighbors, Jasmine Threet, Alex Conlon, Ashley Schnurr, Laura Agee, Rachel Hickman, Jaleesa Mitchell, Madison Epperly, Audrey Johnson, Allison McCafferty, Leah Watts, Ashley McCullough, Kiana Swanner, Samantha Patton, Olivia Glover, Caitlin Dennis, Caroline Carvalho, Jessica Broussard, Anna Brooke Payne, Katie Worthy, Sarah Ann Thornley, Olivia Taylor, Sarah Brown, Courtney Campbell, Emily Kelly, Rebecca Todd, Miranda Register, Catherine Pirani, Leah Cook, Anna Nicole Larson, Kayla Mosley, Elizabeth Lubin, Emily Nagel, Genevieve Gillis, Caitlin Scheid, Emma Mudd, Roxanne Koyman, Adriana Riggins, Peyton Berry, Jessica Chapman, Hannah Hartung, Emily Klippenstein, Rebecca Eller, Augusta Frederici, Sydney Rutherford, Mary Comic, Spencer Smiley, Anna Messerly, Anna Matchin, Stephanie Owens Moylan, Hayden Schaffner, Rebecca Shane, Erica Langhorn, Natalie McCombs, Megan Farrell, Rebecca Carlson, Mallory Seal, Paola Garza, Lauren Hill, Hartley Jennings, Mackenzie Clare, Courtney Self, Shelby Miller, Stephanie Thaler, Amanda Bowen, Sarah Page Woodland, Lauren Petty, Margaret Morton, Margaret Whiting, Reagan Howell, School of Nursing, Dean Greg Neuschwander, Jillian Marovich, Katie Noel, Natalie Scaldera, Emma Barron, Elijah Krukowski, Lou Gunter, Madison Strickland, Catherine Kenny, Amanda Reeves, Morgan Meredith, Natalie Bawden, Morgan Lentz, Olivia Retta, Madison Cook, Annalyn Wren, Caitlin McDonald, Jessica Newton, Abigail Abernathy, Caitlin Oglesby, Hannah Hayes, Madeline Parks, Bretson Pascal, Elizabeth Waldrop, Laura Schuster, Morgan Kleiss, Jessica Coleman, Taylor Strohmeyer, Claire Levitt, Susan Purvis, Caroline Parrish, Lakeisha Logan, Harper Morrison, Jessica Smith, Chandler Austin, Molly Dobbs, Madison Simpson, Bailey Gray, Linda Kemp, Anna Louise Teal, Brooke Searcy, Emily Elston, Madeline Tisdale, Claire Wilder, Jessica DeShera, Rachel Mathis, Jessica Moore, Hannah Hayes. Raquel Deaton. Elizabeth Jackson. Audrey DeBose. Paula Justine Judith. Ashley Westbury. Chandler Thrash. Allie Collins. Christina Knight. Anna Kenny. Hayden Tanner. Taylor Campbell. Hannah Paget. Katarina Roberts. Chelsea Wilson. James McClellan. Joshua Abelo. Rebecca Rowe. Virginia Cottrell. Abby Osborne. Callie Price. Camille Kraft. Mary Baker. Annie Ham. Frances Coleman. Lindsay Langford. Caroline Cole. Kate Martinez. Lauren Blakey. Kaylin Darnell. Stephanie Gilbert. Samantha Grace Martin. Ashley Baranco. Madeline Schobeck. Caitlin Patrick. Madison Burr. Bailey Bird. Jordan Stokes. Samantha Dawson. Savannah Cole. Haley Berryhill. Caitlin Rafalski. Allison Mason. Caroline Barwick. Devin McAllister. Danielle Lee. James Leslie. Emily Dutton.
Graduates, you're now part of the Auburn alumni family. Gretchen Van Valkenburg, Vice President of Alumni Affairs and the Executive Director of the Auburn Alumni Association, is here today to welcome you to this exceptional group. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Van Valkenburg.
Thank you, Dr. Leith. Congratulations and War Eagle! Now that you have completed the academic requirements and earned your Auburn degree, you join a group of alumni who, like all of you, believe in work, hard work, honesty, and truthfulness, and a spirit that is not afraid. Auburn University alumni have used their degrees to serve others, better their communities, and succeed in ways they may never have imagined the day that they wore their cap and gown. I have no doubt that each one of you will do the same. You became a member of the Auburn family when you made the decision to attend Auburn University. You made friends that will last a lifetime, greeted strangers on heyday, and rolled Toomer's Corner after 2 big wins, especially this last fall, which were fabulous. You studied, you played, and you belonged. Would all Auburn alumni in attendance today please stand and be recognized, and that includes all of you. Thank you. You may now be seated. Today, it is my honor to welcome you as the newest members of the Auburn Alumni Association. You have been greeted by our Auburn Alumni Association board members. Today, we have Shirley Boulware and Jennifer Moore who greeted you and provided you with your official Auburn pin. We hope you wear that in pride everywhere you go, and so that everybody knows where you came from. Next month, we'll be reaching out with you and provide a decal in the mail among some other material. As you head out into the world, please remember that your Auburn Alumni Association is here to assist you in staying connected, not only to Auburn University, but to one another. Whether you stay here in the loveliest village or you move across continents, there are plenty of ways to stay close to Auburn University. I encourage each of you to connect to the Auburn Alumni Network, download the Auburn Directory app, and find a local club or affiliate group to be engaged with. Please stay in touch with your schools and colleges, and once you're established, please send us your stories. We are so proud of you, and we want to brag on you. We have a young alumni blog, and we also have the Auburn Magazine. Welcome again to the Auburn Alumni Association. I am so very proud to be with you today, and it is my hope that you will always believe in Auburn and love it. Congratulations again, and War Eagle!
As we conclude our ceremony, I would like to take a moment for us to recognize who have made this day possible. Please join me in thanking Auburn University's graduation committee and all those who have worked to make this ceremony a success. And now our final thank you, and that's to our graduates. Thank you for choosing Auburn University. It has been our pleasure to serve you as educators, mentors, and friends. You may now turn your tassels to the left. Graduates, we're all very proud of you. The degree you have received will aid you in your future endeavors, both professional and personal. We're all excited to see the mark that each of you leaves on our world. May you experience a truly successful life. Congratulations and War Eagle. We will now conclude our ceremony with the singing of the Alma Mater, led by Ann Snow-Duraski. Would everyone please stand and remain standing until the platform party, the faculty, and the new doctors have recessed from the arena. Students, you may drop off your cap and gown as you exit on your right.